The story begins in the heart of a bustling city, where towering skyscrapers pierce the clouds, and the streets below hum with the energy of ambition and success. At the top of one of these skyscrapers, in a luxurious penthouse that feels more like a fortress than a home, lives a man who has everything, and yet nothing at all. He is a tech mogul, a visionary whose name is synonymous with innovation and cutting-edge technology. His company, a leader in artificial intelligence and robotics, has revolutionized industries and changed the way the world operates. But behind the glitz and glamour of his success lies a man who is deeply alone. The mogul's life is a carefully curated facade. He rarely attends social events, preferring the solitude of his penthouse, where the only sounds are the turning of pages in his beloved books and the occasional hum of the city below. His only companion is his loyal housekeeper, who has been with him since the early days of his company. She cooks, cleans, and ensures his life runs smoothly, but she cannot fill the void in his heart. The mogul's past is marked by a heartbreak that has left him wary of love, and he has channeled all his energy into his work, building an empire that has made him untouchable, or so he thinks. One evening, as he sits by the large window in his penthouse, lost in the world of a science fiction novel, his assistant calls with urgent news. A powerful investor, known for his sharp business acumen and traditional values, has expressed interest in collaborating with the mogul's company. However, there's a catch. The investor insists on a business dinner where the mogul must bring a significant other. The request throws the mogul into a dilemma. He has no one to bring, nor does he have the time or inclination to start a relationship, but the stakes are too high to ignore. This investor could propel his company to new heights. Desperate, the mogul turns to his assistant for a solution. She suggests hiring someone to play the role of his girlfriend for the evening. Reluctantly, he agrees, and a list of potential candidates is quickly compiled. However, as he meets each one, he finds something lacking. They are either too nervous, too aloof, or too eager to please. Frustrated and running out of options, the mogul decides to take a break and clear his head. He heads to a nearby coffee shop, a place he often visits to escape the pressures of his work. As he sips his coffee, he notices a young woman behind the counter. She moves with grace and confidence, handling difficult customers with patience and charm. Her smile never wavers, even in the chaos of the busy shop. Intrigued, the mogul approaches her and introduces himself. He explains his unusual predicament and offers her a generous sum to accompany him to the dinner as his date. The woman, taken aback by the request, hesitates but ultimately agrees, seeing it as an opportunity to earn some extra money and perhaps even experience something new. The mogul feels a sense of relief as the first hurdle is cleared. But as they begin preparing for the dinner, he can't help but notice how effortlessly she adapts to the high-stakes environment. She is intelligent, articulate, and possesses a natural ability to connect with people, qualities that the mogul finds both impressive and intriguing. As the day of the dinner approaches, the mogul begins to wonder if this arrangement might lead to something more than just a business deal. Little does he know. This decision will set off a chain of events that will change his life forever. What starts as a simple business arrangement will soon unravel into a story of unexpected connections, personal growth, and the possibility of love. But for now, the mogul focuses on the task at hand, impressing the investor and securing the future of his company. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the story is just beginning. The city skyline glows with the golden hues of sunset as the mogul and his hired companion prepare for the pivotal dinner. In his penthouse, a space defined by sleek modernity and meticulous order, the two sit across from each other, rehearsing their fabricated love story. The woman, whose natural confidence and quick wit had initially caught his attention, studies the details intently. She asks about his preferences, his past relationships, questions designed to make their story believable. He answers in clipped responses at first, but as the minutes pass, he finds himself easing into the conversation. "You're going to have to loosen up a little," she teases, a playful smirk dancing on her lips. "No one will believe we're together if you look like you're suffering through a board meeting." The mogul exhales sharply, a ghost of a chuckle escaping him. "Noted." She tilts her head, assessing him. "We need to work on chemistry. I should be able to look at you and convince the world that I adore you. Right now, it looks like you just fired me." Her ease unsettles him in a way he can't quite place. He nods, conceding the point, and they continue refining their backstory until their words flow effortlessly. They move to the next task, choosing the perfect outfit. The mogul provides access to an array of high-end designer dresses, but she waves them away, opting instead for an elegant, understated gown that accentuates her presence without being ostentatious. "You don't need to impress them with wealth," she says, adjusting the dress in the mirror. "You need to show them you can connect with people. That's what they care about." The observation lingers with him as they head to the restaurant, an exclusive venue where power and influence converge over candlelit tables and hushed conversations. The investor, a distinguished man with a sharp gaze, arrives with his fiancée, a woman whose warmth contrasts with his calculating demeanor. The mogul introduces his companion, and to his surprise, she takes control of the conversation with practiced ease. She engages the investor's fiancé in lively discussion, weaving charm and intelligence into every word. The mogul watches, impressed. She's not just playing the role, she's owning it. As the evening progresses, the investor studies the mogul with newfound curiosity. "I must say, I've heard stories about you being distant and all business, but seeing you with her, I wonder if the rumors are exaggerated." The mogul casts a glance at his companion, who meets his gaze with a knowing look. "Sometimes people only see what they expect to see," he replies smoothly. By the time dessert is served, the investor appears pleased, his reservations about the mogul's personal life seemingly assuaged. When they part ways, he clasps the mogul's shoulder firmly. "Let's move forward with the deal. We'll finalize the details next week." The mogul nods, feeling an unfamiliar sensation, pride, not just in the success of the dinner, but in how effortlessly his companion had helped shape the outcome. As they step outside, the cool night air greets them, carrying the distant hum of the city. He turns to her, searching for the right words. "You were incredible tonight," she grins. "I know." He smirks, shaking his head. "I mean it. Thank you." She studies him for a moment before offering a casual shrug. "Well, if you ever need a fake girlfriend, again, you know where to find me." But as they part ways, the mogul realizes something unsettling. He's not sure if he wants this to be the last time. The success of the dinner lingers in the mogul's mind, but it isn't just the secured deal that occupies his thoughts. It's her. The way she effortlessly charmed the investor and his fiancée. The way she handled herself with confidence and grace. And the way, for the first time in years, he felt something beyond business calculations. Their agreement was simple. One night, one performance. And yet, days later, he finds himself lingering over his morning coffee, replaying moments from that evening. When he finally reaches for his phone, he hesitates for only a second before sending her a message. "Lunch? My treat." She responds almost immediately. "Didn't think you'd need a fake girlfriend for lunch too." A smirk tugs at his lips as he replies, "Consider it a thank you." They meet at a quiet, upscale bistro, a stark contrast to the buzzing coffee shop where she works. Over the course of the meal, their conversation drifts beyond the usual pleasantries. He learns she's passionate about writing, that she dreams of publishing her own novel one day. She, in turn, asks about his work. Not the business side, but the deeper reason behind it. "What made you want to build all this?" she asks, gesturing to the world he's created. No one had ever asked him that. Not like this. Not with genuine curiosity rather than expectation. He tells her about his early fascination with technology, how he always believed it could change lives. But somewhere along the way, he became more focused on the empire than the purpose. Maybe it's not too late to find that purpose again, she says, her voice soft but certain. The conversation lingers with him, and before he realizes it, their lunches become more frequent. Their arrangement, once strictly professional, begins to shift. They explore bookstores together, exchange recommendations, and debate their favorite literary characters. Slowly, cautiously, he lets her in, sharing fragments of his past, his childhood, his early failures, the betrayal that made him wary of trust. One evening, he invites her to a high-profile gala, an event filled with industry elites and media. Scrutiny. She hesitates but agrees. When she arrives, stunning in an elegant black dress, he's struck by an unfamiliar feeling. Pride, admiration, something dangerously close to desire. They dance, the music a gentle hum in the background. "You're enjoying this," she teases. "I don't dance," he counters. And yet, here you are. Her gaze holds his, and for the first time in years, he doesn't feel the weight of the world pressing down on him. Instead, he feels light, unguarded. Then, before he can second-guess it, he leans in. Their lips meet in a slow, deliberate kiss. One that feels less like an accident, and more like an inevitability. When they pull apart, a new tension lingers between them. One that neither of them is quite ready to define, but one thing is clear. The lines between their arrangement and something real have begun to blur, and there's no turning back now. The days that follow are a delicate balance between familiarity and unspoken tension. They don't address the kiss, yet neither of them can ignore the shift it has created. Their meetings become more frequent, slipping into a routine neither of them acknowledges, but both silently crave. One afternoon, she invites him to her favorite bookstore, a small, independent shop tucked away from the city's usual rush. As they browse the shelves, she picks up a worn copy of a classic novel and hands it to him. "This one," she says. "It changed the way I see the world." He takes it, running his fingers over the pages. "Then I'll have to read it." A comfortable silence settles between them, the kind that doesn't require words. They leave the store with a stack of books and a lingering glance that says more than either of them is ready to admit. That evening, as he flips through the book she recommended, he finds a note tucked between the pages. "Sometimes the best stories are the ones we never see coming." He exhales, a small smile playing on his lips. Maybe, just maybe, this is one of those stories. But reality doesn't wait for untold stories to unfold at their own pace. The next morning, a headline splashes across every business news outlet. "Billionaire CEO caught in mystery romance. Who is she?" His phone is flooded with calls and emails. Investors, board members, even his assistant. Everyone wants to know who the woman in the photos is. He sees the pictures, him and her at the gala, their dance, their kiss. She calls him first. "Did you see it?" "I did." Silence. Then, what happens now? He should have an answer. He always does. But this time he doesn't. Because, for the first time in his life, he's not thinking strategy. He's thinking about her, and that terrifies him. The media frenzy spirals beyond their control. Reporters dig into her life, pulling out every detail they can find. Paparazzi wait outside her coffee shop, making it impossible for her to work. Strangers send her messages, some praising, some cruel. "I didn't sign up for this," she admits when they finally manage to meet in private. "I don't know how to live like this." He wants to protect her, wants to fix everything. But the problem is, for the first time, he doesn't know how. "You don't have to," he says. "I'll handle it." But she shakes her head. "That's the thing. You can't fix this. It's my life too. A moment of silence passes between them, heavier than any before. This was never supposed to be real, and yet it is. She looks at him, searching for something, reassurance perhaps, or maybe permission to walk away. And for the first time, he realizes that the next move isn't his alone to make. It's hers too. The question is, will she stay?